Welcome back to another edition of Griz Tracks. This time the Grizzlies did not come out on top this past week, playing Eastern Washington at home in a game that they fell behind early, had to do some late rallying, but in all ends just kind of ran out of time. Bob, what did you see from that game on the offensive side for the Grizzlies getting started kind of late in the game?
Yeah, well, they had no running game really to begin the game. Throw out the one nice run by Jordan Canada for a touchdown, and there was nothing consistent on the ground, which hurts the pass game, of course, because so much of it is predicated on play action pass. And when they don't have to bite on the run, it makes it tough to pass. And on the defensive side of the ball, you bend something enough times and it's going to break. And the Grizzlies had been bent in previous weeks and hadn't broken, but Vernon Adams and his passing game and some really tough receivers that were just a little bit too much for the Grizz to handle, particularly being shorthanded with their best cover corner, Anthony Goodwin, out for the game with an injury.
And Vernon Adams had himself a game, and he had 6 touchdown passes, tying a school record for Eastern Washington. But on the other side, I mean, there were some good things in the Grizzlies' comeback on offense. Hooking up between Ellis Henderson and Jordan Johnson. I mean, those guys scored 3 times together.
Yeah, there were, but I think you could pretty much say the game was just about out of reach by the time they started their comeback, and it's a lot easier to do those things against a team that's playing prevent mode than it is against a team that's playing straight up defense. So, it was a nice try, but it was probably going to be too little, too late.
And it puts the Grizz in a really tough position now going forward in the Big Sky Conference schedule. There are 3-2 in league games, which is 3 games here left. And, not an easy one by any nature coming up this week either at Sac State.
Definitely not. And I think a lot of fans that you talk to are frustrated with the fact that they maybe stick with the running game a little bit too long at times. It's a nice idea to get it started, and as Bob said, it really helps with the play action passing.
Sure.
But lately, they've a lot of their offense has come in the fourth quarter in desperation mode. And they've got to find a way to do a little bit better throughout the game, particularly the 2 middle quarters. They just haven't been getting it done. A lot of 3 and outs, and so it's going to fall upon that line. And they're dinged up at running back this week, so they're going to rely on Jordan Canada, and we might see a little bit of John Wynn this week.
Yeah, dinged up at running back again. That's something that's becoming an unfortunate circumstance over and over and over again here the past couple weeks. What do we know about Sac State and the kind of things that they're going to be able to bring to the table against the Griz?
Well, they're going to see another quarterback that likes to scramble. He can make things happen. A lot like Jordy Johnson. I mean, he made a lot of things happen last week, too, with his legs scrambling and running the football. This quarterback for Sac State, he really likes to run the ball, and he's got a lot of passing yards. I mean, he's got almost 2,000 passing yards this season, but he'll pull it and run with it, and he's susceptible to the interception, and Montana leads the league in pickoffs this season, so it's an interesting matchup between those 2 teams.
Yeah, maybe take a few away there. The Grizzlies in desperate need of a win here, though. Handicap that Big Sky Conference race for us. Who are those teams up the top that Grizz need to make some ground on?
Well, obviously, you got to respect what Montana State and Eastern Washington have done with the undefeated records. They'll play next week. Northern Arizona at 4-1 in the conference, and the easiest schedule.
Sitting pretty nice.
Yeah, coming down the stretch here. It looks like maybe they'll have a good shot at the playoffs. A lot of folks wonder if they'll take 4 from the Big Sky this year. I think the Big Sky ranks 4th out of FCS conferences. Mm-hmm. So some folks think Montana can afford to have 1 more loss. Some think that maybe they can get in with 2 more losses. I don't think anybody knows for sure at this point.
Right. They have a game coming up against Weber in a few weeks, a team that struggled this year. So hopefully can make a little ground there before ending the year with the Cats and Bozeman. So that one should definitely be tough. Check back this weekend, read the Missoulian to see how the Griz did against Sac State and if they can gain some ground again. And check out Griz Tracks online at Missoulian.com every week. Thanks for tuning in.